my peen, suck my peen, Listerine, I'm Mr. Clean. Suck my peen, suck my peen, Listerine, I'm Mr. Clean. Stinky is Mr. Clean, green, I'm Stinky is Mr. Clean.
All right. What's up, guys? I hope you liked the intro. Took me a long time to make. Today we're going to be talking about the state of gaming in 2026, which, by the way, is larger than ever, and it faces many, many, many problems. More people play games today than they have ever, and less people are watching movies. Esports arenas get sold out now. Blockbuster games, they generate like billions of dollars. And, there are gaming communities all over the world. But despite the success, something feels off. Players are frustrated, developers are burned out, and many of the biggest games are simply unfinished, such as Starfield. I don't know if you guys remember Starfield. That is straight up a Todd Howard experience. All right, that was a disaster. Simply put, Bethesda games are already buggy, but that game, the bugs were just bugs. They were not a feature like most other Bethesda games. Starfield was absolutely a train wreck. So obviously players are frustrated and developers are burned out. So anyways, today we're going to be talking about the state of gaming in 2026, like I said, and how the industry got where it is. Anyways, firstly, let's talk about the obvious, that gaming is going nowhere. In fact, it's the largest entertainment industry in the entire world. The global gaming market is worth hundreds of billions of dollars, and massive franchises dominate pop culture. Online multiplayer games run for years as live services and huge communities around everything from competitive shooters to cozy indie games are completely dominating the market. Streaming platforms, esports leagues, and social gaming experiences are more mainstream than ever. But while the industry is thriving financially, many players are starting to feel like something has been long lost, right? And that's the soul of the game. That shit is gone, all right? These developers, they are putting lackluster bullshit effort into these games, and I feel like a part of that is not their fault. And it's a part of these larger companies' faults, because I feel that these larger companies are pushing these developers to produce games so quickly that they can't focus on the minor details of the game, okay? So the idea here, the strategy they're running with here is, instead of releasing a complete game and moving on, the studio is now built to run indefinitely. Okay, the games, they're built to last. All right, that's one of the largest shifts we've seen from our complaints. Okay, that's called a live service game. They continuously get updates. You can see this is probably a bad example, but the Elder Scrolls Online, okay, is a perfect example in my circumstances, because I don't play many live service games. It's probably not the best example, though. They essentially come out with a monthly update as opposed to their, normal annual update. And you could see why that used to be a problematic thing, is because you'd have to you'd basically wait a year for the game to improve, because they'd only release content annually. Well, now it's kind of like World of Warcraft. They've switched everything over, and the services have just been extended. Okay, and it's just better than an annual release of a giant lump of content that I'll inevitably complete in 2 to 3 weeks. Because I'm an addict. Okay, another issue that keeps growing is monetization. So free-to-play games, normalized cosmetic purchases. Some of those systems have slowed and expanded into every fucking game. I think I remember when I was a little younger, Overwatch was one of the largest loot box games. Okay, and one of those games that really just milked the cow. Okay, you could buy premium skins, battle passes, seasonal content, early access bundles. It's not as if you are paying to win. Okay, no, that's not their goal either. What you're doing is you're gambling. Okay, the video game industry had introduced gambling, and they even went so far as to make the gambling more addictive, because they'll add these beautiful sounds with you opening the loot boxes, and you might not understand it or you might not realize it, but when you're opening these boxes and you hear these sounds and these pretty colors, because some of them explode with fireworks when you open them, it's just the same thing lottery machines do. They grab your attention. They make the dopamine receptors in your brain fire off, because brain like pretty colors associated with gambling. You're going to keep gambling. And also, there's just the essence of gambling in it, which is, I feel like that over the years has just become somewhat human nature. Like, we're risk takers, you know? Like, we enjoy the thrill of possibly winning a lot of money. Or in a video game, you enjoy the thrill of possibly getting a really, really rare skin. You know, it's just rarity. What are the odds that you're the small odds, you know? So AAA game development has reached a point where projects take about 5 to 8 years to finish. Budgets are enormous, teams are massive, and expectations are sky high. Yet the publishers always, well, I should correct that, mostly disappoint. And that creates a giant risk for publishers as well. So instead of experimenting with new ideas, I'd say that most companies are playing it safe. Sequels, remakes, established franchises. They're just going to keep pushing out what's already out there, because they understand and can actually evaluate the success of something that's already released. They know what you like, and they're just going to keep feeding you what you like. It's like, it's hard to get something organic and new when they are afraid of taking risks themselves. Okay, it's as if we are left with the responsibility of the risk. You know, are we going to enjoy this? Is this going to be, you know, the same thing it's been for the last 10 years? Well, of course it's going to be the same thing it's been for the last 10 years, because we keep feeding them our money. Yes. Yes, and that, I think Starfield needed to happen, because if it didn't happen, we just keep getting Starfields, you know? Starfield was wildly anticipated, lots of suspenseful buildup, lots of waiting, and utter disappointment, okay? It was a garbage heap of a game. And I think it really taught the publishers something that can't be taught in just simple complaints. So anyways, guys, that's all I really have to talk about today. I appreciate you watching, and please subscribe.
On me, I'm about to slide. Ride a bike, ride a car, about to hit you with the knife. Wear a shicey, wear my shicey, I'm the man. Never mind.